On December 19, 2025, Bangladesh erupted. Newspaper offices were burned, students flooded the streets, anti-India slogans echoed across Dhaka, and at the center of it all was the death of Sharif Osman Hadi. So who was he? And why has his death pushed Bangladesh to the brink? Sharif Osman Hadi was not a government official, he was not in power, but his death has triggered one of the most intense waves of unrest Bangladesh has seen since the 2024 student uprising. I am Masked Woman, and this video explains who he was, how he died, and why his killing has ignited nationwide anger, especially toward India. So, who was Sharif Osman Hadi? Sharif Osman Hadi was 32 years old. He was a prominent leader of Bangladesh's 2024 student-led uprising, a movement that challenged the country's political system and ultimately forced Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to flee the country. Hadi served as the spokesperson of Inqilab Mancha, which translates to Platform for Revolution. In the months before his death, he was preparing to run as an independent candidate for parliament from Dhaka 8 in elections expected in February 2026. He was also openly critical of India, accusing it of interfering in Bangladesh's domestic politics, particularly after Sheikh Hasina took refuge there following her ouster. How did he die? On December 12, 2025, Hadi was traveling through Dhaka in a battery-powered auto rickshaw. According to police, two assailants on a motorcycle pulled up beside him and shot him in the head. He was rushed to Dhaka Medical College Hospital, where doctors found he had suffered severe brainstem damage. 3 days later, he was transferred to Singapore General Hospital, where he was placed in the neurosurgical intensive care unit. Despite treatment, Sharif Osman Hadi died on December 19th. Singapore's authorities confirmed that he succumbed to his injuries. News of his death spread rapidly, and so did anger. Violent protests erupted in Dhaka and other cities. Demonstrators, many of them students, demanded justice and accused the authorities of failing to protect Hadi. Some protesters stormed and set fire to the offices of major newspapers, including Prothom Alo and the Daily Star, outlets they believe hold pro-India editorial positions. At one newspaper office, 28 journalists and staff were trapped inside a burning building for hours. Stones were also thrown at the Indian Assistant High Commission in Chittagong. The protests quickly took on a strong anti-India tone. Many demonstrators accused India of sheltering Sheikh Hasina and interfering in Bangladesh's political process and allegedly allowing Hadi's attackers to flee across the border. These claims have not been proven, but they have spread widely online and have been echoed by some youth political leaders. For many protesters, Hadi's death symbolized not just a murder, but foreign influence, injustice, and unfinished accountability. Bangladeshi police launched a manhunt, CCTV images of the suspects were released, and a 5 million taka reward was announced. The country's interim leader, Muhammad Yunus, called Hadi's death an irreparable loss for the nation, and warned that democracy cannot be halted through fear or bloodshed. A half-day of national mourning was announced. Hadi emerged from the July 2024 student protests, which began over job quota policies favoring descendants of 1971 war veterans. The protests were met with a brutal crackdown. According to Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal, nearly 1,400 people were killed, and over 20,000 were wounded. Later investigations revealed orders to use lethal force. Sheikh Hasina was eventually convicted in absentia of crimes against humanity and sentenced to death, but remains in India. Sharif Osman Hadi's death has become more than a tragedy. It has reopened old wounds, intensified political tensions, and exposed how fragile Bangladesh's post-uprising transition still is. The question now is not just who killed him, but whether justice, stability, and accountability can survive what comes next. If you want more stories that go beyond headlines, that question power, politics, and influence, subscribe to Masked Woman, share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and keep watching, because what's hidden often matters most.